I was thinking the other day about the ocean. About how sometimes, the water close to the shore is calm, almost still, but if you swim out a little ways, you hit a current, deep and powerful, that wants to pull you away from the beach. And I think loving someone with an avoidant attachment style can feel a lot like that. You're standing there in the warm, shallow water, calling them to come closer, but they're caught in this invisible, powerful current that's telling them to swim further out to sea, where it's safer, where they're alone, where the vulnerability of the shore can't touch them. And if you've ever loved someone like that, you know the unique ache it brings. It's not that they don't love you. It's that their love is filtered through a primal fear of connection itself. It's like their heart speaks a different language, one where silence means I'm scared and distance means you matter too much. And if you're the partner on the shore, your work, the most profound and difficult work, is to learn to speak that language, not with words of frustration, but with actions of profound understanding. This isn't about changing who they are. It's about building a bridge, plank by patient plank, from your island to theirs, across that choppy, uncertain water. The first step, the very foundation of that bridge, is what I'd call reinforced compromise. But I want you to think of it not as a business negotiation, but as a dance. A dance where sometimes you lead, and sometimes you follow, and the goal isn't to win, but to move in harmony, even if the rhythm is unfamiliar. It's about communicating openly and collaboratively, yes, but it's also about the spirit in which you do it. Let's take something fundamental, time together. You might be someone who feels connected by frequency, a few hours, 2 or 3 times a week, that fills your cup. Your avoidant partner might feel completely overwhelmed by that. For them, connection is about depth, not breadth. They might prefer one long, meaningful 5-hour stretch once a week. To you, your request for more time feels like a simple expression of love. To them, it can feel like a cage closing in. So the compromise isn't about you getting your 3 days and them getting their 1 day and everyone being miserable. It's a creative, collaborative solution. It's you saying, I hear that having our own space is really important to you, and I respect that. What if, on the 1 day we plan to be together, we really make it count? Instead of 4 hours, could we make it 6, or even plan an overnight? That way, we both get what we need, you get the spaciousness you require, and I get the sustained connection I crave. You see the difference? You're not demanding, you're problem-solving with them. You're speaking the language of their fear, the fear of being swallowed up, and offering a solution that honors it. But then there's the area where this dance becomes most delicate, most fraught with vulnerability, physical intimacy. This is where the ocean current is strongest. For an avoidant individual, emotional and physical intimacy are intensely intertwined, and when they start to feel too close, too seen, the vulnerability can be paralyzing. It's not that they don't desire you, it's that the act of intimacy makes them feel so exposed, so connected, that their protective system screams for distance. It's a defense mechanism that says, pull back or you will lose yourself. So if your partner has pulled away in the bedroom, please hear this, it is almost never about you. It is about their internal struggle to connect their body and their heart. And the reinforced compromise here has to be different, more gentle. Pressuring them, trying to fix it immediately, will only send them further out to sea. Instead, the most powerful thing you can do is to give them the gift of time and safety. It might sound like this, I love you, and I miss the physical closeness we shared. But I'm starting to understand that right now, that might feel like a lot of pressure for you. I want you to feel safe and comfortable with me above all else. So, how would you feel if we intentionally took a break from focusing on sex for a while? We can just focus on being together, on cuddling, on talking, with no expectation. And we can agree to revisit the conversation in a few weeks, to see how we're both feeling. This approach is a game changer. You are effectively saying, I see your fear, and I am not going to fight it. I am going to sit with you in it. You're taking the pressure off, which is the very thing that allows an avoidant person to breathe, to relax, and eventually, to feel safe enough to choose connection again, on their own terms. Once you start building this foundation of safety through compromise, you begin to notice something else. You and your partner have entirely different dialects of love. It's like you're both trying to express devotion, but one of you is speaking poetry and the other is building cathedrals. You need to learn to appreciate the architecture if you want to understand the poem. An avoidant individual often shows love through actions, through steadfastness, through practical care. They'll fill up your car with gas when it's empty. They'll fix that squeaky door you've been complaining about. They'll work late to provide. These are not just chores, these are love letters written in the ink of service. Anxiously attached individuals, on the other hand, often thrive on verbal reassurance, the I love yous, the compliments, the words of affirmation. The conflict arises when you're reading their action-based love letter and feeling like it's blank, while they're hearing your request for words and feeling nagged. The shift happens when you start to translate. When your partner fills your gas tank, instead of a quick thanks, try, I was feeling really stressed about my day, and when I saw you took care of the car, it felt like you were taking care of me. Thank you for showing up for us in that way. It means the world to me. You are explicitly connecting their action to your emotional need. You are validating their language of love. And when you do that consistently, you build a reservoir of goodwill. Then, on a quiet, connected evening, you can say, you know, I feel so loved when you do things for me. And I was wondering if it feels natural for you, if you could tell me what you love about me sometimes too. Just hearing it in words would really make my heart sing. Because you first honor their language, they are infinitely more likely to try and speak yours. This leads us to the very architecture of communication itself. For an avoidant person, a tidal wave of pure emotion can feel like chaos. They are often problem solvers by nature. Their internal world is built on logic as a defense against a storm of feelings they're afraid to fully feel. So when you come to them saying, I'm so hurt, you're never there for me, their brain doesn't hear the pain first, it hears an unsolvable problem and a blanket accusation. They shut down. But this doesn't mean you should suppress your emotions. Your feelings are valid and vital. It means we need to build a container for them, a structure that their logical mind can grasp. It's about pairing the emotional truth with a logical request. Instead of the outburst, you could try, I had a really tough day today, I'm feeling overwhelmed and sad. I was wondering if after you're done with work, we could have a 10-minute call. I'd just love to vent for a bit and feel heard. And maybe afterwards, if you have any ideas, we could brainstorm a solution. I just need to feel connected to you right now. See what you've done? You've stated the emotion, overwhelmed and sad. You've given a logical, time-bound request, a 10-minute call. You've defined the purpose, to vent and feel heard. And you've even engaged their problem-solving brain at the end. You've taken your heart and offered it to them in a way they can actually hold without feeling overwhelmed themselves. You're not dimming your light, you're simply putting a lampshade on it so it's warm and inviting, not blinding. In all of this, the compromise, the translation of love languages, the structured communication, is in service of creating a beautiful, sustainable balance called interdependence. The avoidant person's greatest fear is enmeshment, losing themselves in the relationship. Your fear might be abandonment, them leaving you behind. Interdependency is the sweet spot that calms both fears. It's the understanding that you are two whole, independent people who choose to weave your lives together. This means you both fiercely protect your individual hobbies and friendships. You have your separate gym time, your book clubs, your nights out with friends. And you also have your shared world, the gym sessions you do together, the weekly walks, the cooking a meal side by side. Avoidant individuals often connect beautifully in side-by-side activities. It feels less intense than constant face-to-face conversation. So you build a life where there is a healthy flow between I and we. You come back together after a day apart and share your experiences, not out of obligation, but out of a genuine desire to include the other in your world. This rhythm assures them that the relationship is not a prison, but a home base from which they can freely explore the world. It tells you that their need for space is not a rejection, but a necessary part of their process that allows them to return to you more fully present. Of course, even with all this intention, there will be moments of pressure. The key is to develop a radar for it. You need to become an expert in the subtle signs that your partner is feeling cornered, the slight withdrawal, the change in tone, the defensiveness. And when you sense it, the most loving thing you can do is to name it and offer an escape hatch. Hey, I can see that this conversation about our future plans is feeling a bit heavy. We don't have to figure it all out right now. Would it be okay if we tabled this until Saturday morning when we're both fresh? This is not avoiding the issue, it is respecting their emotional capacity. It's saying, this topic is important, but your well-being is more important. By doing this, you build immense trust. They learn that you are a safe harbor, not a storm. They learn that they can express their limits without you punishing them or falling apart. This is especially crucial when discussing big, life-altering topics like marriage or children. You can state your dream, I see myself getting married in a few years, without attaching a ticking clock to it. Loving an avoidant partner is a journey of profound empathy. It's about realizing that the very person who seems to be pushing you away is often the one who is most terrified of losing you. Your patience, your understanding, your willingness to build that bridge across the water, these are not acts of surrender. They are acts of immense strength. You are teaching another human being, through your own steadfast love, that connection doesn't have to mean captivity, and that vulnerability is not a weakness, but the very source of your greatest strength. It's about building a love that has room for both the ocean and the shore, a love that is deep and spacious all at once.